Good afternoon. Yes, talking about this block 2 unit 7, today we will discuss about operation planning and control with respect to jobs of production system. Now, as I told you, production system is generally divided into two categories. There's a continuous and intermediate production system. Under intermediate, we can find three types. Basically, jobs of is one of them. So, batch production we have discussed, another also comes under that. So today we'll discuss what is jobs of production, what are its implications, what are its characteristics, what you find the advantages and disadvantages of it, and how to schedule a job in different conditions. So unlike mass production system where a limited number of items are produced continuously without any change, jobs of characterizes a situation where a varieties of jobs is handled, each job being different from the previous one. Jobs of differ from batch production in the following manner. Batch production, there is generally a continuous demand for a product, but owing to high rate of production as, as compared to the rate of demand, production is undertaken in batches. So, before I start, I have given you a clear comparison of mass production, batch production, and jobs of production. What happens is mass production system where limited number of items are produced continuously without any change. That means standardized products are produced without any change, and here the demand is more where varieties of, but in case of jobs of where we produce varieties of job, it may be A, B, C, D, isn't it? And the most important characteristics is that the processing of job A is different from B, different from C, and D, like that. That means jobs of also differ from batch production. In batch production, we also produce is a continuous demand for a product, but here the situation we face is that the rate of say higher rate of production is more, but demand is less. So production is taken in batches. So thus batch production caters to predictable variety of jobs. That means it doesn't produce a single product, but it produces varieties of jobs. In the jobs of, however, both the nature and demand of jobs are unpredictable. And here the demand of a particular job as well as the nature of the job is not predictable. We cannot predict. Moreover, each order or job is unique, requiring its own makeup of operations and times for processing through a number of machines or facilities in a factory. Thus, batch production refers to a situation where predictable caters to the predictable varieties of job. That means we don't produce a single product, rather we produce varieties of job. And in this job shop, both the nature and demand of jobs is unpredictable, and each order of job is unique and requiring its own makeup of operations and times for processing. I will give you a simple example here. Suppose there is a birthday party. We go and order a cake to the bakery shop, and we give a say order for with cake with chocolate flavor, lot of coffee powder. It's a round shape, and my name or the person who gives an order, his name on it. So accordingly, the bakery shop will prepare a cake, whatever as per their requirements. So in a simple language, I can say job production is one of production. This method is adopted to meet individual order as per their request. I gave you a simple example, birthday cake. You can also take an example, the tailoring shop. You go and see the catalog. As per the catalog, you give the order. He or she takes your measurement. The tailor takes your measurement. And another person comes, gives another order, but the fashions may be different. Here also, the cake, another person's cake who may require a vanilla flavor, not very coffee in it, or it may be a square shape. So, one of is basically job production is one of production. This method is adopted to meet individual requirements. And the company here in the job shop, the company expects a contract to produce one or few units and produce them as per the specification of the customers within prefixed time and cost. The time and cost are fixed at the timing of signing the contract. So, in a job shop, what happens? The tailor accepts order from different customers and one or few units to produce them as per the specification of the customers. Whatever the customers want, accordingly, the cloth will be stitched and within a prefixed time and cost. Cost is fixed and time is fixed. The time and cost are fixed at the time of signing the contract. When a tailor gives you a slip, here he meant write down what is the amount to be paid at the delivery of the stitched cloth and which date he will give the. So basically, job production is nothing but it is one of production. It produces the products according to the order or requirements of the customers. So a typical example would be a machine shop which may make parts for local industrial machinery, farm machinery, and implements, boats and ships, or even batches of specialized components for the aircraft industries. So, typical example of job production may be designing and implementing an advertising campaign, auditing the accounts of large public limited company, machining a batch of parts, building a new factory, or installing machine in a factory. So, a job shop is a kind of manufacturing process. It makes small batches of customers' good, especially for one customer. Most of the goods it makes require specific setup. That means the setup will differ. Whatever setup I've done to produce product A will be different from product B, will be different from product C. So, talking about these characteristics of job production, a job shop typically consists of general purpose machine clubbed into different departments. Each job governed by unique technological requirement, demand processing on machines in a certain order. Because of variety of tasks, the job shop become a complex queuing system. A job leaves one machine and proceeds on its route to another for the next operation, only to find other jobs are already waiting for the machines to complete its current task. So that queue of jobs in front of that machine is formed. Alternatively, a machine may finish its task and be ready to take the next job, but no jobs are available, so the machine becomes idle. Planning for the job swap is essentially involved deciding the order or priority for jobs waiting to be processed at each machine to achieve the desired objectives. So, this is very, very important. A job swap is directly related to the queuing system, which we read in, say, operation research or the problem of queuing starts. What do you mean by queuing first? What is a queuing system? Queuing system arises or queue is generates when the service station, rate of service station is less than the rate of arrival. Suppose I am going to say book a ticket and when I book a ticket, there is a counter. There is a person who say gives ticket for a movie or a multiplex. Now I find that when I go to book, four people are there already in the queue to get the service. So I have to stand in the queue and I will get my opportunity only when the persons who are in front of me, all the three persons get their service, then only I can do my job. But sometimes what happens, the movie has run for 2 years or 3 weeks. When I go, there's no, say, cost, say, persons standing in the queue, and I find the persons who is issuing tickets are sitting idle. So sometimes what happens, a job shop typically consists of general purpose machine. It's not special machine but general purpose machine, and they are clumped into different departments. So it's a process layout system is generally adopted here, and each job is governed by unique technological requirement. That means each job has a different technological requirement. Technological requirement differs from job to job. Demand processing on machines in a certain order. That means, I give you an example. There are two jobs, jobs A and jobs B. Jobs A require, say, demands processing on machine a particular order. Job B demands another order. Because of the varieties of tasks, a job is become a complex queuing system. Why it's become a queuing system? Sometimes a job has to pass through three machines. Suppose the first machine has done its work, then it is go to the next machine. But here you find that the machine is be occupied with the current task, so that the job has to wait and queue is formed. But alternatively, when the when jobs are not available, no jobs are available, that machines becomes. So in a job shop system, job shop production system, planning for the job shop essentially involve deciding the order or priority of jobs. That means which jobs need to be done first, jobs waiting to be processed at each machine to achieve the desired objectives. Yes. Then a typical example would be in a job shop has different, say, I can say different characteristics. What is the first characteristics? It produces high varieties of product. Now, compared to mass production and batch production, here varieties of products are produced. And how the varieties comes into? The varieties comes into picture because the products are produced as per the requirements of the customers. As per the requirements of the customers. Whatever the customers want, the product is produced. Volume of products is low. That means the volume of a particular product is very low. And then A type product is produced very low because whichever customers, say suppose 10 customers want A type product, so that much amount is produced. Yes. Now, com- compared to other production system, in a job shop, we require high skilled operators. We require high skilled operators because in a batch production or in mass production, this only one type of jobs are produced. But in case of job shop, we produce different types of products and different products requires different skills. So we require skilled operators who can perform different jobs. Then there is last inventory of materials, tools and parts. And number 5 is detailed planning is essential for sequencing the requirements of each product. So detailed planning is required in case of job products production. We have to make a detailed planning, the order in which the sequence of sequencing the requirements of each product. So talking about the characteristics, again I say it's a high variety products, volume of products is low, skilled operators who can perform difficult jobs, large inventory of material, tools, parts, detailed planning essential for sequencing the requirements of each product. And what are the advantages we get? The number one advantage is here varieties of products can be produced. If you compare with other production system, we produce varieties of products. Operators become more skilled and each gives becomes more learning. Now, if you talk about mass production, we produce a particular type of products. That means you become expertise in that job, but you don't learn other. Full potentials can be utilized. Here, potential can be utilized. It is possible to make changes even if the work started. So it's a more a flexible system. Quality will be high because of skilled workers. So here the quality of the product the quality will be high because of skilled workers. So varieties of products can be produced. Operations become more skilled here as each job gives more learning. Full potentials can be utilized. What are the disadvantages? High cost due to frequent changes. Here, we don't produce say single product, but we produce different products. So high costs are involved. It's an expensive method and we require a large space requirement here. And production planning is complicated. As I told you, production planning is complicated. So again, the examples I can give: a clothing workshop, repairing shop, bridges, construction of highways. All these are coming under job shop. So before going on to the scheduling of the jobs, I can again say that job shop is nothing, it's a one of production system where the products are produced according to the requirement of the customers. Now, we'll see the sequencing of jobs. Now, there are different conditions. Now, there may be n jobs. First is n jobs and there is one machine. Now, before we that, we can have certain advantages of also job production is a customized product design. Jobs of production process allow customers to personalize their orders, easily adaptable to change, better use of resources, flexibility, floor level monitoring of the products, high skilled workers and lower investment. After we end, we will discuss about this. But talking about, we'll take the first condition, then we'll talk about this sequencing n jobs on one machine. That means a company has one machine, but there are n jobs. N may take from any numbers 1 to n, 1, 2, 3. In sequencing n jobs on one machine, the processing time of each job and the due dates of delivery are required. A priority rule is decided in order to sequence the various jobs accordingly. So, the first condition, I have not prepared a slides on here, but I can tell you, sequencing n jobs on one machine, that means the n jobs may vary from 1 to n number and the machine is 1. Then the question arises which job is to be done first and which is to be done last, and what is the sequence, the order in which the jobs will be done. That means the priority rule. Now, there are different criteria on which the priority rule is established. First is FCFS. FCFS. What is that FCFS? First come, first serve method. In this method, is a traditional method. In this method, the top priority of the assignment is given to the job whose order was placed earliest. Suppose in a tailor shop, I have given on Monday, another person is given on Wednesday, then my job will be done first because I have given the order at the earliest date. Jobs are sequenced according to the dates of arrival. The job order received at the latest is the schedule at the end of the sequence. So this is a very fundamental principle. First come, first serve means whoever come first, he gets the service first. Whoever come last, he gets the service last. That's the simple principle. And orders are sequenced accordingly. Suppose there are 5 jobs. I have sequences 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. That means 2 is got the priority because job 2 has given the order first. 2, 3 will come next. 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. 4, 5, 1 in that order. Then second is last come, first serve. In this method, the job is received in the end, is scheduled at the beginning of the sequence. The jobs are sequenced according to their dates of arrival. This is the reverse process. What is the reverse process says? The reverse process says LCFS. That means last come, first serve. Whoever come last. In this method, the job received in the end is scheduled at the beginning of the sequence. Jobs are sequenced according to their dates of arrivals. Due date method. In this method, jobs are sequenced according to their due date of delivery. The job with the earliest due date is scheduled at the beginning of this sequence. What is due date? Due date means on which date you have to deliver the service or deliver the good to the customer. Suppose job A is to be delivered with 4 days and job B is to be delivered with 5 days. So due date of delivery A is 4 and due date of delivery B is 5. So A has a earliest due date. So job A is to be done first, scheduled at the beginning of the sequence, and B has to be sequenced next to A because A has a longer due period. Sometimes company also follow a random method. As the name suggests, jobs are selected for processing at random by workers. The processing sequence may vary from individual to individual. In random, that is, I select any work according to my conscience or according to my wish. So it may vary from individual to individual. As the name suggests, the jobs are selected for processing in random by users. And another method is sorted processing time. In this method, the priority of rule of sequencing is based on the processing time of the various job. Shortest processing time is scheduled first. So, coming onto this, now we'll see N jobs and M machine. A typical formulation of jobs of scheduling problem is given in the jobs to be processed through M machine. Each job having a predetermined sequence of operation and processing time. In what order should be the job be loaded in the machine so as to optimize certain performance criteria? A typical list of performance: total processing time or max span, mean flow time, mean time in the job shop or idle time of the machine, mean lateness of the job. Lateness of the job is defined as the difference between actual completion time of the job and the due date. Mean earliest job: if the job is completed before the due date, then its lateness value is negative, is referred to the earliness instead. Mean tardiness of job: if the job is completed after the due date, when the lateness value is positive, it is referred to a tardiness instead. Number of tardy jobs: mean queue time, mean number of jobs in the system. This is important. So N jobs and M machines. I suppose N jobs, there may be 8 jobs and 5 machines. So a typical formulation of jobs of scheduling problem is given in a job to be processed through M machine. And each job has a predetermined sequence of operation. That means, suppose there is a job A. Job A has a predetermined. Suppose it has to go to first drilling machine, then grinding machine, then packaging machines. Accordingly, there is a predetermined sequence. And what time each workstation will take is also known. In what order should the jobs be located on the machine so as to optimize certain performance criteria? First, there are 9 performance criteria. First is total processing time. Total processing time is what time a machine needs to process a job. Mean flow time: what is the average time in the job shop a particular job required to. Idleness of the machine: then what time the machines remain idle or they are not doing any work. Mean lateness of the job: what is lateness? Lateness of a job is defined as the difference between the actual completion time of the job and its due date. Suppose you go to a tailor, the tailor has given you a due date 1 week, that's 7 days, but he gives you after 7 days or 9 days. So there's difference between the actual completion, so the difference is 2 days. So sometimes what happens? The job may be completed before due date. Here the lateness value is negative. Negative lateness refers to the work is completed earlier. And mean tardiness of the job is where job is completed after your due date. Then the lateness value is positive and it is referred to as tardiness instead. And we also find out what is the number of tardy jobs and mean queue time and mean number of jobs in the system. Moreover, the solution procedure depends on the following factors: the number of jobs to be scheduled, the number of machines in the shop, the type of manufacturing facility, flow shop or job shop, manner in which job arrive at the facility, static or dynamic, criteria by which scheduling alternatives are to be evaluated. So the solution to the problem arises But depends on the following factors. The number of jobs to be scheduled. How many jobs you are going to schedule? The number of machines in the machine shop. How many machines are there in the shop, or the type of manufacturing system, flow shop or job shop. Manner in which the jobs arrive. That means static manner or in dynamic manner. Jobs may arrival may change, or jobs arrival are the same. Criteria by which scheduling alternatives are to be evaluated. The case when a number of jobs is to be processed on a single facility occurs quite often in practice. Such a number of cars to be serviced at a service station, number of patients to be treated by a doctor, number of job requests from different terminal users to be executed by a computer, number of different jobs to be machined on a lathe, number of broken down machines to be repaired by a service mechanic. So in practice, as I told you earlier, sequencing M jobs on one machine. So number of jobs have to be processed in a single facility quite often in practice. Suppose you have car and you have gone for servicing your car. Then you find that there are number of cars at the service station, but there is only one service station which caters to the needs of the various cars. There is a doctor. The number of patients should be treated by a doctor. The doctor is a facilitator, and the patients come to get the prescription or for the diagnosis of a particular disease, and they have to stay in a queue. Number of job requests from different terminal users to be executed by a computer. Yes. Suppose you have a lathe machines, number of different jobs come to a lathe machines. Number of broken down machines to be repaired by the service mechanic. Suppose you have a TV mechanic who caters to the repairing work of different customers. As in all such cases, we as human beings are used to fast come, fast serve concept. As I told you, this seems to be almost universally accepted code of handling queues at milk booth, post offices, banks, almost anywhere we go. Perhaps the validity of the rule stems from the democratic notion that all individuals are equally important. It is just or proper to assign priority on early arrivals. In fact, we all know how unpleasant scenes and heartburnings can result in real life if this chosen rule is violated. For instance, when a newcomer tries to enter a queue at a vantage position or at a senior is superseded in a job promotion. As I've already told you, a first come, first serve FCFS is the universal principle, is the universally accepted code of handling queues at milk. Suppose you go to a milk booth for early morning milk, you have to stand in a queue, and those persons who have come first. In post offices, you have gone to deposit money, you have gone to banks to deposit your money, almost anywhere you go. And this principle is based on the principle of democratic process. Because in a democratic country, all individuals are equally important. And we just are proper to assign priorities on early arrival. Now, if this rule is violated, there may be coercion, there may be confusion, there may be conflict, and the total systems may break down. Suppose you are standing in a queue for hours together, and a newcomer comes and try to enter into the queue at the vantage position. Or suppose you have worked in an organization, a senior is superseded in a job promotion. These are all heartbreaking. So the first principle in a 10 jobs and one machine is fast come, fast serve. You also consider a static job shop with a number of jobs and with known processing times requiring processing on a single machine. The jobs of static new job arrivals do not disturb the processing of the n jobs. It may be assumed that new job arrivals wait for being considered in the next batch of jobs after the processing of the current n jobs is accomplished. We shall also consider static job shop in which number of jobs n with known processing time require a processing on a single machine. Now, in a static, when the n processing of the n jobs are completed, then new n jobs will enter. Now, the following definitions are in order. N is the number of jobs. Ti is considered the processing time of job I. Wi is considered generally waiting time before processing for the jobs I. Fi is the flow time of job 1. That is Wi is equal plus Ti. So Fi is calculated is, so Ci is completion of time of job I. Di is the due date of job I. Li is the lateness of job I. And it is considered in the completion time, actual completion minus the due date of the. Yes. Then the earliness of the job I, that is maximum of 0 and minus Li. Tardiness of job 1, maximum of O and Li. Li is lateness of the job, that is C minus Di. Number of tardy jobs is NT. Now, as I discussed, there are different principles. That is different principles. In the earlier stage I have discussed, there are different criteria of job sequencing. First come, first serve, last come, first serve, due date method, random method, and but the important method is shorted processing time rule, sequencing the job in way the job that with least processing time is picked up first, followed by the one with the next smallest processing time, and so on, is referred to as SPT, shortest processing time. This should be SPT, and sequencing and achieve as the following. What is the objectives of this STP or SPT, shortest processing time? The shortest processing time minimizes the mean lateness. Number 2, minimizes the mean lateness time, minimizes the mean waiting time, minimizes the number of tasks waiting as in process inventory. So again I am saying shortest processing time is sequencing the jobs in a way that the job that least processing time is picked up first, followed by the one with the next smallest. A variation of the STP rule is the weighted scheduling rule, WSPT, which is used when the importance of the task vary. A weight Wi is assigned to each job, the larger value indicating greater importance. Then dividing the processing time by the weighting factor, the tendency is to move the more important task to an earlier position in the sequence. So the variation of SPT is the WSPT, that is weighted scheduling rule, which is used when the importance of the task vary. We assign weight to each job. A larger value, if the weight is more, then it indicates greater importance. Then by dividing the processing time by the weighting factor, the tendency is to move more important tasks to an earlier position in the sequence. That means we are taking or we are getting the job done first, which is more important. Now we have taken a case study here. Consider 8 jobs with processing time, due dates, and important weights are shown below. Now there are 8 jobs. Job 1 require time of 5, jobs 2 8, job 3 6, job 4 3, job 5 10, job 6 14, job 7 3, job 8 3. So due date of completion is 15, 10, 12, 25, 24, 45, 50 days. Importance of weight is 1 gets a weightage of 15, 2, 3 is 3, 4 is 1, 5 is 2, 6 is 3, 7, 2, and so processing time divided by the importance of weightage gives you the value of the 5, 4, 2, 3, 5, 4.7, 3.5, 3.0. So this is now the problem before you is to determine the sequence of the order in which you perform the work. We'll first start with the shortest processing time rule. Here the job with the least processing time is the picked first, followed by the one with the next smallest time, and so on till we had picked up all the jobs. So sequencing achieves the following objectives: minimizing the mean time, minimizing mean in-process inventory, minimizing mean waiting time, minimizing mean lateness. So FCFS fast come fast rule is as the jobs are given order. So if I FCSS principles I do, so I do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So job 1 will be done first, job 2 will be done second, job 3 will be done 4, 5, 6, 7 in that order. If I apply the last come first serve, I will pick up 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 in that order. Due date method, in this method jobs are sequenced according to their due dates of delivery. The job with earliest due date is scheduled at the beginning. Suppose the earliest due date is 4 for job 6. So job 6 is picked first. Next come job 2, 10. Next come job say 3 with 15, 1 is 15. They will be accordingly will do that. Or 10 is job 2 is 10, 4 accordingly will. But first come first service. So rule as the jobs are given as per the yes. Now in this method the priority rule is sequencing based on the processing time. Here we'll go to the question. 4 is 3, 8 is also 3. So 4, 8, then you come to job 1, the processing time is 5, job 3 is 6, job 7 is 8, and job 2 is 8, job 5 is 10, job 6 is 14. But if in terms of weightage, the importance of weight is 1, 1, 1, 3, 2, 2, 2, 3. Now, the STP sequence is 4, 8, 1. The STP sequence is 4, 8, 1, 3, 7, 2, 5, 6, resulting in completion of the job at the times is here 3 plus 3, processing time is 3, 6, you go on adding 3 plus 3, 6, 6 plus 5, 11, 17, 17 plus 24, 35, 42, 56 respectively for the tie you may take any sequence. For example, if T1 job is 4, 3 and job 8 3, then you may take first job 4 then job 8, or you can take job 8 or job 4 first. Reverse, you can reverse the order, but the time will be, so total time will be 56. For the tie you may take any sequence. So again I am saying I am using the STP principle. I have sequenced my job on the priority rule of sequencing on the processing time basis. The job with requiring less processing time is sequenced first, and the job which takes maximum processing time is placed in the last. So the times, like we can go on adding 3 plus 3 6, 6 plus 5 11, 11 plus 6 17, 17 plus 7 24, 24 8 32 is 42, and last is 56. So again he's saying if there is a tie you can take any order. So mean flow time is 23.9. How do you do this? So we add 3 plus 6 plus 3 plus 6 plus 11, like we add 3 plus 6 plus 11 plus 17 plus 24 plus 32 plus 42 plus 56 divided by the number of works, that is 8. We get is 8, 23.9. Weighted mean time, how do you find? Weighted mean time, yes. Weighted mean time, the weightages are given here for 1, 1, 1, 3, 2, 2, 2, every weightage is given in the question. So what you do, we add the weightage with respect to processing time. So then 1 multiplied with 3 plus 1 multiplied 6, 1 multiplied with 3, 1 multiplied with 6, 1 multiplied with 11, 1, 3 multiplied with 17, 2 multiplied with 24, then 2 multiplied 32, 2 multiplied with 42, 3 multiplied with 56, divided by here the total W weightage, W summation W, that is weightage is 15, 1 plus 1 plus 1, 3, 3 plus 3, 6, 6 plus 2, 8, 8 2 plus 10, 12, 15. So divided by 15, we give 29. So weighted mean time is 29. Now waiting time for each job is, for job number 4, the waiting time is 0. For job number 3, the waiting time is 3. How it is calculated? Now, the job 8 or job 8, it has to wait for job 4 to be completed, then it has to be started. So accordingly it is calculated. The job number 8 waiting time is 3, and job 1 the waiting time is 6, job 3 is waiting time is 11, and for job 7 the waiting time is 17, and the job 2 24, 32, 42, and total waiting time is 135. And what is the lateness of each job? Lateness is the completion time of the job minus due date. Now, what is the completion time? Its processing time is 3 and due date was 25. So it's giving you minus 20. Go to the question. Due date is 25 for job 4, but it is completed in 3 days. So this negative, that means it is finished earlier than the due date. Job 8, 6 minus 50. It is given in the question, the due date is 50. So it is completed minus 44. So the job is completed earlier. The job 1 is also, it is 11 minus 15 minus 4. For job 3, the lateness is 17 minus 15 plus 2. For job 7, 24 minus 45 minus 21. For job 2, it is 32 minus 10 plus 22. Job 5 is 42 minus 20. Job 6 is 46 minus 40 plus 16. So positive lateness is steadiness. So mean lateness unit is, so you add 22, 44 minus 4, 21 and divided by the number of jobs, that gives you minus, and mean tardiness, the all positive values you add and divide by the number of jobs. Yes, we have taken into account only the, so number of tasks actually late is 4. Job number 3, job number 2, job number 5, they are the number of tardiness, and maximum lateness is 22 units. Job 5, that is job 5, maximum lateness, job 5. Yes, and job 5 and job 2 both are having 22, maximum lateness is 22. That's why you calculate the lateness of the job. Then we see weighted shortest processing time rule. If the importance of weightage are to be considered, WSPT rule could be used to minimize the weighted mean time to yield the sequence 3487 shown below. Here, the tasks are 1, 2, 3, 4. Processing time is 5, 8, 6, 3, 10, 14, 7, 3. And the importance of each job is given to the organizer. So we find that T1 divided by Wi gives you the 5, 4, 2, 3. So accordingly, we have arranged sequence. First is 2, second is 3, then third is 3, then fourth one is your, say, job number 7. So 2 is first, that means job number 3. Job number 3 is second, means that job number you refer to your job number 4. Accordingly, we have arranged it. The respective flow of time jobs in the sequence are 6, 9, 6, 9, 6 plus 3, 9, 12, 9 plus 3, 19, 12 plus 7, 27, 19 plus 8, 41, 27 plus 46, 41 plus 5, 56 is 46 plus 10 gives you the value. Yes, earliest due date. Here the rules are sequenced in the order of non-decreasing due dates. The EDD sequence is 2, is 10 units of time. 1 is 15, 3 is 15, 5 is 20, 4 is 25, 6 is 40 units, 7 is 45, 8 is, those the sequence will be what? 2. Why 2? 2 is the least processing time. 2, 1, 3, 5, 4, 6, 7, 8 yield the completion time of the jobs are 13, job as 8, 13, 19, 29, 32, 56, 53, and 56. So respective lateness value is, how to completion time, C minus D1 is minus 2, 8 minus 10 minus 2, 13 minus 15 plus 4, 19 minus 15 plus 9 again, 29 minus 20, 7, 32 minus 25, 6 is 46 minus 40, and 8 is 53 minus 56, 45, 6, 56 minus 50. So mean flow time is 32 and weighted mean flow time is 31.7. Now, generally, question arises, n jobs with 2 machines. In Johnson development algorithm, that can be used to obtain the optimal sequence. Now, In such case, Johnson rule is summarized below. List all processing times of all jobs on machine M1 and M2. Scan through all processing time for all jobs. Locate the minimum processing time. If the minimum processing time is M1, then do the job first as early as possible in the sequence. If it is on the M2, place the corresponding job at the last. Eliminate the assigned job already placed in the sequence as a result of step and repeat the result 2 and 3 until all jobs are sequenced. Any ties in the processing time while applying job 3 are broken arbitrary because they cannot affect the minimum lapse time to accomplish all jobs. Under certain restriction, assumption, Johnson rules may be extended. What is Johnson rule says? Johnson rule says that there are n jobs. N jobs may vary from 1 to n, and there are 2 machines. Now we have to see the timings of both the machines. Suppose there are 5 jobs, 1, 2, 3, 5 jobs, and there are 2 machines, M1 and M2. M1 processes in a particular time. Suppose there are 6 jobs, go first machine 1, then over machine 2. The order of the completion has no significance. Machine times our 6 jobs are, machine 1 is 1, 2, 3, and time of the machine A1 is 5, 9, 4, 7, 8, 6. Time of the machine 2 is 7, 4, 8, 3, 9, 5. That means job 1 can be processed by machine 1 by 5 hours, by machine 2 is 7 hours. Similarly, job 2 can be processed by machine 1 9 hours and job machine B 4 hours. So here we can apply the Johnson principles to sequence. Most of the problems in job production arise from varieties. Suppose I will give you one example here: 5, 9, 4, 7, 8, 6, 4, 8, 3, 9, 5. Among all the say times, 3 is the minimum. There are 10 timings or 3, 3, 6, 12 timings. 3 is the minimum. And 3 is on machine 2, that is B1. And it refers to the job 4. That means the job 4 should be done at the last. It should be put at the last in the sequence. Then we eliminate job 4. That 7 and 3 should not be considered again. Then we come to other timings. Then we find 4. 4 is the minimum again in machine 2. Then we have to place job 2 before the job 4. So 4, you come 4, 3. But after eliminating that, we find the minimum value is 5 and it is a tie between that 1 and 6. So job 1 should be done first and job 6 done after or before the job say 7. Accordingly, we have to do that. So most of the problem in job production arise from varieties of jobs arriving and demanding individual processing sequence on the scarce facility in the job. Owing to this factor, the job shop is characterized by the typical following problems: complicated and unsystematic material, large in-process inventory, large waiting time for the jobs, large completion time for the jobs, unpredictable problems owing to the large variety of tasks. Here, to end with, since the jobs are done as per the requirement of the customer's order, here we find large number of problems. The problems are complicated and unsystematic material flow patterns, large in-process inventory. We find there are a lot of inventories, large waiting time for the jobs, then large completion time for the jobs, and unpredictable, and some problems may come which we never predict before at the start of the production.